against Oupthong and Sudjaipraparat, the second seeded pair from Thailand. And if you were watching our coverage earlier, you'd have seen the Danish pair of Espersen and Kuds complete a fairly straightforward victory over Chinese Taipei pair. So the Danes, the number 5 seeds, await the winners of this one in tomorrow's showpiece final.
Players for mixed doubles in semifinals. The number 6 seeds from USA, Presley Smith and Jenny Guy. And the number 2 seeds from Thailand, Oupthong and Sudjaipraparat.
Well, you'd certainly make the Thais favourite, not the number 2 seeds, without a reason. However, they had a bit of a struggle yesterday in the quarter-final, and you heard the cheers for Smith and Guy when they came out. Love to make a final on home soil. First meeting between these two pairs.
Open court, guys. Let's do the toss. Can you please move a bit? So you have 2 choices. You want to choose red or black? Black. Red for you guys. Red one. This side. You to serve. Who receives? Please. Thank you.
So let's give you a bit more information then about this quartet. Starting with the pair from the USA, Presley Smith and Jenny Guy. Just 21, Smith. They're world ranked, as you can see, 36, in a couple of spots higher. And that was with Alison Lee. She's ranked 34 in men's doubles, actually, is Smith. Won the men's doubles in the Pan Am Championships back in April. As for Jenny Guy, she's 3 years apart the senior. Only American since 2010 to qualify for the Youth Olympics. That was in 2018. She got to the quarterfinals, actually. And she was in the Paris Olympics, the full Olympics, with Vincent Chu. Good win yesterday against the higher seeded Hemming and Van Leeuwen of England. Albeit it took 3 games to do it. But having lost the opener, that was a really good effort. And their opponents from Thailand, Rutanapek Oupthong, 25 years of age. They're inside the world's top 20. That 15 ranking, by the way, was only last month. On their first World Tour title a year ago. So a Super 100 event
1-2.
In Chinese Taipei.
1-2.
And Oupthong's partner, Jenny Sudjaipraparat, won a couple of minor women's doubles titles. And this year, their best tournament was in France. They got to the semis in the Orléans Masters back in March.
Ready to play?
My mistake. I thought they had a harder match in the quarters yesterday. In the end, it was straight games. So, again, very straightforward progress for those two. João Fragoso of Portugal is the chair umpire here. Yasan Sarini of Mauritius is the service judge. We had 1 service fault called for too high in that last match. Still waiting for our first Torquay.
Guys, Sorry, they are going to change.
Just got an issue, I think, maybe with the umpire's mic.
One, two, 1, 2. Okay. Sorry, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Ruthanapat Oupthong and Janicha Sudjaipraparat, Thailand. And on my left, Presley Smith and Jenny Guy, USA. Janicha Sudjaipraparat to serve to Presley Smith. Level play.
So here we go. What can the Americans do against top 20 pair and second seeded ties?
One love.
Great recovery work from Oupthong. All to no
Service
avail in the
over.
end. He threw himself around the court.
1-all. Two, 1.
Well, it's a good pick-up from Guy. Forced Oupthong to play the same shot again, and he wasn't up to it.
Service over. 2-all.
That's a clever piece of placement.
3-2. Service over. 3-all.
Well, a few unexpected errors already from the Thai pair, which will encourage those two. Yeah, nice play. Really good
Service
teamwork.
over.
Oupthong setting it up.
4-3.
And Sudjaipraparat finishing it off. I think he tried to hit that too hard.
Service over. 4-all.
Missed it by a big margin in the end.
Five, 4. Service over. 5-all. Fault.
Well, that's excellent work from the Americans.
Service over.
Dominated that rally.
6-5.
Certainly, at the moment, they're not looking like a pair that are ranked 18 spots below their opponents. Pity, because it was actually a good serve.
Service over.
Pity from the Americans' point of view.
6-all. Seven, 6. Eight, 6.
Very quickly onto that, Oupthong.
9, 6.
Just up their level in the last few points, Thai pair. Good flicker. No, that was a little lackluster
6.
from Guy. Just started to dovetail really well, and the winner, as we see so often in doubles, it's so effective right down the middle, and out of nowhere really, a 5-point lead for the number 2 seeds at the mid-game break.
Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. Eleven, 6. Play. Twelve, 6.
Once again, right between the two Americans.
13, 6.
Second time in the last 3 or 4 points that's happened. Well, they've really got the taste for it now, these two. And the gap in class, which certainly wasn't evident in the first 7 or 8 points, because it was quite tight initially in this first game. From 6-5, they've only won 1 of the last 9 points.
Service over.
Finally, they stopped the rock.
7-14. Service over. 15-7.
Well played. Got across there very smartly, Jenny Guy.
8-15. Service over. 16-8.
Shot. They just bossed that rally from the first shot to the last. Great angle. It really was from Oupthong. Delicate, decisive.
18-8.
And it's been destructive in this first game from the number 2 seeds.
Service over. 9-18. Ten, 18. Eleven, 18.
Well, they have literally had the Americans running all over the court in this opening game. Just a couple of points required now to seal it. Just wide, and so here are 9 game points
20,
for the ties.
Game point 11.
Oh, that was going to be out, wasn't it?
Service over.
I think that was going well out. Not sure why She played
12,
that.
20.
Almost certainly only a temporary reprieve, though, for the US pair.
Game.
And indeed it was. So 21-12. It's only taken, what, 14
First
minutes.
game won by Oupthong
And the number
and
2
Janica
seeds in charge
Sudjaipraparat,
here. They lead 1 game to love.
21-12. Twenty seconds. 20 seconds. Second game, level, play.
Well, that's a really positive start for Smith and Guy.
Service over, 1 love. Two love. Service over. 1, 2. Two all.
Well, it's good leave.
Service over, 3, 2.
Short with the serve.
Service over,
Such a good shot that from
3 all.
Sudjaipraparat. Have to be very sure of your touch. Faintest contact just to get it over the top of the net. 3 all.
Service over.
Yeah, it's a fine shot that, because made it very awkward for Oupthong. It was right at the hip, and he just couldn't adjust and get his racket in the right position.
Service over. 4-all.
Great defence from the Thai pair in this point. It's almost going to feel like it's worth 2, because the Americans were big favourites in that rally.
Okay.
Well, Prezi was surprised that came back. Oh, that was going wide, surely. A couple of times that it was Oupthong on that occasion, but previously it was Sudjaipraparat at the end of the first game. Left, or rather played a shuttle that appeared to be heading well wide.
Okay, thank you. Press serving. Play. Service over. 6-5.
Good pressure again, mainly from Smith. This is the way they played in the early exchanges in the first game, and then the Thais kind of ran away with the game on something like 10 points out of 11. Oh, well played. Excellent shot from Guy.
7-6.
Right at the body. Well, again, that looked like it was floating wide, this time on the forehand side. But Oupthong played it. Well, this is much, much better from the Americans.
9-6.
Four points in a row. has got them in a promising position now in the second game. Well, I think Sudjaipraparat should have finished that point. When she couldn't, Americans helped themselves. And they're favourites now in this second game. Misjudged that, and they've got a 5-point lead at the mid-game break, Smith and Guy.
Seconds, 20 seconds. Players on court. (11-6), play. Service over, 7-11.
Well, it's been plain sailing all week for Oupthong and Sudjaipraparat so far. Straight game victories in their 3 wins, but they're being tested here for the first time this week.
Eight, 11.
Well, 3 quick points
9-11.
after the interval. I've got them right back in this second game. Smith and Guy have to be very watchful here. Well, Jenny Guy did brilliantly there because she was on the deck, got up so quickly
11.
that the Americans weren't able to capitalise.
Wait.
Well,
11,
5 points on the spin has got them level. I honestly don't think that Smith and Guy have done too much wrong since we resumed after the interval. Big pressure again from the ties.
12-11.
Well, they needed that.
Service over.
After a run of 6 straight
12
points,
all.
Smith and Guy end that horror sequence from their point of view. Thought about playing it. In the end, excellent lead from
13-12.
Sudjaipraparat.
Fourteen, 12.
Yeah, that was a tricky one for
12.
Presley Smith. Right at the body, didn't do much with it. Won 9 of the last 10 points, make that 10 of the last 11.
16,
It's been the level of their domination since the interval.
Service over. 13.
Home fans doing their best to support Smith and Guy here. But it's looking, from their point of view, horribly like the latter stages of the first game. And they just found themselves blitzed by the ties.
Service over. 17, 13. Thank you. Eighteen, 13. Service fault called, 2-eye.
Well, the Americans need anything they can get, so they take that.
14, 18.
Serve from too high. Was well in.
15, 18.
Showing a bit of spirit here, the American pair. Yeah, good lead. So,
16, 18.
fight back on again. Three points in a row for the Americans.
Service over. 19-16. Okay.
Good work from Smith.
Service over. 17-19.
So, big point coming here. Really spirited response this from the US pair. They looked absolutely down and out. They may still lose this second game in the match, but certainly making the ties work for it. So match points here, 3 of them for the number 2 seeds.
Point 17.
Excellent placement.
18-20. Wait.
Oh, brilliantly kept alive by Sudjaipraparat. And they've won it. What a point that really didn't deserve to. Certainly shouldn't have. The Americans may have given them a helping hand, but they get over the line in unlikely fashion. And that second game a lot closer than the first. And for that, huge credit to Smith and Guy. But they just couldn't tame the ties in the end. Americans looked favourite in this rally, pretty much from the outset. And Smith couldn't believe he'd missed that backhand.
Match won by Oupthong and Sudjaipraparat, 21-12, 21-18.
So 21-12, 21-18, 36 minutes, the match time in that second mixed doubles semi. Coming up next, it's the number 1 seed in the women's singles. Bae Min-jung up against the Dane Lena Kristoffersen in a couple of minutes. Well, a warm welcome back to our continuing coverage from Iowa on semi-final day in the US Open. And we've reached match number 4, which is the second women's semi-final between Baewin Jung, seeded 1, and the Dane Lena Kristoffersen, the 6th seed. If you were with us earlier, you'll have seen 16-year-old Tanvi Sharma play brilliantly to take down Polina Burova of Ukraine. So the winner of this upcoming semi will face the Indian teenager in tomorrow's final.
And now, please welcome the players for women's singles semifinals. The number 1 seed from USA, Baewin Jung.
And here she is, carrying the hopes of America.
And the number 6 seed from Denmark, Lene Kristoffersen.
Just the second meeting, actually, between these two. I was quite surprised when I was checking the head-to-head last night. Thought they'd have played each other a lot more than that.